Confidence in Indian Horse, a novel by Richard Wagames.
A summary of the novel. Saul is a boy who lives in a residential school. He discovers a passion in the game of hockey. He progresses through the sport where his talents take him out of the school and onto the Toronto Marlies. His confidence is tested throughout his hockey career.
And this is how it happens. At the beginning of the novel, shortly upon entering the residential school, Saul starts watching the residential hockey team practice. This sparked his interest in hockey, and during this part of the novel, you see Saul develop beliefs of his abilities to be able to play a sport that he has never played. These professional hockey players acted like a model because he sees their confidence on the ice by the way they move, the way they act with each other, and how they aren't afraid to go on a breakaway. By watching them, it builds his confidence because he can imagine what it's like to play, and their performance serves as a visual representation of what to do and what not to do. When there is a lower level team, coaches will often make the team watch higher level athletes to show them what they should aspire to do, similar to what Saul did. The scene is an example of cognitive psyching because it led to an increase in Saul's strength of will to perform the skills he saw on the ice displayed by the players. Also, the scene is an example of a mental modifier. His higher self-confidence led to an increased effort and persistence in wanting to try to play the sport. Also, it served as a preparation technique like mental practice. It was like he was playing the game through watching his older peers play, increasing his confidence in his belief that he could potentially play just as well. The social interactions among the team served as a social influence that led to an increase in the beliefs in his abilities because he knows throughout it all he would be supported by a united team. This scene in the novel relates to a robust self-confidence because despite the challenges of Saul knowing he was too young to play and too small to stand a chance to compete against very big players, through watching the other players, he set positive beliefs that overcame these challenges, making these beliefs durable, developed, and protective despite the odds.
After modeling the older boys and the stars which he saw on TV for so long, Saul finally begins to put his craft into practice. He first begins by shooting cow feces inside a shack before finally getting his chance to practice with the residential school team. There, he excels his training both on and off the ice, eventually becoming the star of the team. Through his training, Saul finds a way to escape the feelings of shame and worthlessness curated inside the walls of the residential school. These feelings of shame and worthlessness are substituted with those of increasing confidence and competence as he continues to progressively get better at the game of hockey. This training is the root of Saul's confidence throughout his life as he tackles obstacles both on and off the ice. Self-confidence has been noted as a coping mechanism, so the creation of self-confidence in Saul is an integral role to his survival. It has been debated whether one can actually be self-confident if they don't know their true self. In Saul's case, however, this is not a problem at all. Being able to know oneself comes from areas like pain, discomfort, and challenging relationships, like that of which he has with the hockey coach, who is also his abuser. In Thomas and colleagues' model of robust self-confidence with relation to Saul's life at this point of time, the training aspect continually develops his self-confidence while it works in a protective manner with all the difficulties he faces on and off the ice.
And now I'm going to talk about his journey in hockey in his residence school. Sal was placed to a school named St. Jerome Indian Residence School when he was a child. Unlike school around the province, students were treated badly simply because of their identity, and Sal was no exception. He was treated poorly in school, but ice hockey gave him the hope of life. One of the teachers in school started an ice hockey team, and he encouraged Sal to join. but because he was way too young, he could only observe. He secretly observed and practiced ice hockey day and night. With his innate potential in playing ice hockey, he was given a chance to be on the team and play center in the scrimmage game, even though he was the youngest player on the team. In Sal's first debut game for the school team, he was wearing a uniform that was way bigger than his body, which his teammates made fun of him. And then when he came out of the ice skating rink, he was being teased by the audience, who stated that his school brought Sal as a mascot because of his identity. Also, the opposing team, who is an all-white team, was one of the best, so the environment for Sal was new and stressful, and people around him made fun of him, which made him even more nervous, and leading him to a lower self-confidence. But when he started to play in the game, his talent in ice hockey caught the attention of people, especially his teacher, who had been supportive to him all along, encouraging him throughout the game and complimenting him every time he scored, which helped him gain more self-confidence and sports confidence. For the rest of the season, Sal kept working harder and practiced with his teacher, and eventually he became one of the most popular hockey players in his team, and people started calling him the champion hockey player. This is where his ice hockey journey begins, as he had gained more confidence in this. Compared to his first debut for the resident school team,
After playing with the residential school team, Saul gets an offer to play hockey for the Moose, a local hockey team that competes in native tournaments. In addition to playing with the new team, Saul also gets adopted by the coach of the team, Fred Kelly. Leaving the residential school and joining a team of native men has a significant impact on Saul's confidence. This increased sense of confidence allows Saul to further develop his game and become a much better hockey player. Saul demonstrates robust self-confidence in this stage of his hockey career. The confidence that Saul shows has been developed throughout his time training and playing with the residential school team, leading him to have a strong set of beliefs that is exhibited when he first joins the Moose. Saul is sure that he will be able to make the team and fit in even though he has never seen them play before. Saul's confidence is multidimensional as he is able to draw confidence from many aspects, such as his ability, his coach, and his tendency to perform when it matters. Saul's confidence is also malleable, as he is able to bounce back from plenty of bad situations in his life, such as the racism he regularly experiences on the ice due to the color of his skin. Saul demonstrates the durability and protectiveness of his confidence when the Moose play against the champions of the local league. The Moose quickly fall behind by 5 goals and endure the taunting of the crowd, but Saul remains confident in his ability and is able to carry the Moose to a 6-5 victory in overtime. With the Moose, Saul feels a stronger sense of identity, team cohesion, and overall confidence than he ever has before.
As Saul's talents continued to progress, he gained great recognition from scouts desiring to have him on their team. This provided Saul with a great opportunity to play in a high-level league with the Toronto Marlies team. The combination of his past performance and outcome success has helped Saul to build a strong foundation of self-confidence. However, it is the experiences on his new team that effectively tested Saul's robust self-confidence. Early on with his new team, there was a noticeable difference in the atmosphere in comparison to past teams. The level of team cohesion with his new teammates and coach was far more inferior to the cohesive relationships that existed with his old teams. As a result, the level of trust and confidence in one another's abilities was very low and was reflective in their poor team performance. Things would only get worse as Saul's anxiety, stemming from multiple sources, began to overwhelm him and truly test the strength of his robust self-confidence.
After taking some time away from hockey after his discouraging experience with the Toronto Marlies, Saul takes some time to collect himself and comes back to his hometown where his passion for the game started. He takes on a role of coaching a local village team, going back to his roots and remembering the love he had for the game when he was a child. Through the leadership role of coaching, Saul regains his confidence and a new sense of belonging with his new team. The last scenes of the novel reflect Saul's strong set of beliefs towards hockey, giving him the confidence to go back and play the sport. The last few scenes also show how important team cohesion is towards an athlete's confidence, as Saul demonstrated a confidence shift as soon as he was back in his old town, playing around people he was most comfortable with and the people who gave him the most encouragement. In the end, Saul regains the confidence he always had with the people and environment that encouraged him from the start. He now has the confidence to further increase the skills and confidence of the next generation of hockey players. And Saul lived happily ever after. The end.
Well, that's all, folks.
That's my line.
Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all!
That's all, folks.
Can I go home now?